My wife said if this librarian gig doesn't work out, she wants to get into extra work. Well, I hope Amber's librarian gig works out. I genuinely struggle with the idea of there being a second income coming into this house. Like, oh no. Oh no. Oh. Huh. I could just play the best Isaac I've ever played in my life, right? I could just play lights out, flawless Isaac. You know? I mean, sure, my eyes are bloodshot, and this is the first cup of coffee I've had all day. But I could just play flawless Isaac for like 40 minutes, right? I was really hoping 9 Lives was in there. If I can find a, if I can find a bomb, I'll look for the secret room. Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't do Sword of Damocles just yet. Let's put that off. Let's put that off for a hot minute. Let's work under the assumption that I'm not warmed up yet. As I've already lost 2 hearts on this floor. Granted, I've only been hit once, but it was by a champion, and the other heart I lost voluntarily, but... Still though, it's a pretty dope start. Dude, let there be 9 lives. I don't know what I think I'm gonna get out of that. Let there be 9 lives in the first deal with the devil. That would be so slick. Or, you know, again, another bomb anywhere. Not in here, not live troll bombs. I can't get out of here. You know what else? Like, voice acting? I wouldn't mind getting together a voice acting reel. I said that in 2020, but it really truly has been just enough of a struggle to function from day to day in the last couple of years. But like acting and voice acting, I wouldn't mind getting together a reel. And then again, it's one of those things where it's like if I land gigs, that's great, but I wouldn't be counting on it to survive. That's a very different experience where you're just like, if I don't find any work, I'm gonna have to get a gig. Keeping an eye on the news because of the wildfire in my state. California? Colorado? There's a couple of big-ass wildfires. Oh no, there's California is flooding. And then Colorado is the winter wildfire because it's like spring weather. Colorado, that's right. Got a promotion to work a promotion at work to supervisor. So now I get to be the guy the traveling public yells at when we take away their shampoo. Timon V hopes all of you beautiful souls are safe and well. That sounds like something Timon would do. Yeah, there's a part of me that, like, I think that revisiting that creative center for me and doing it in a situation where every single audition is like, it's rough when every single audition is life and death. Man, I might do that just because it's a decent passive. And you get a Tears upgrade. Yeah, I can't pass up a Tears upgrade. Especially with Tech 1, like one of my beefs with Tech 1 is just that, like, it's cool, it pierces, but you gotta get the shots out quick.
Luck. I found pills.
It is nice to finally see a tinted rock I can access. I'm gonna do this just to look for crawl spaces. Get as many rocks blown up as I can. Now I'm not gonna pick it up just yet, and I'll tell you why. There's a part of me that wants to go, like, our health is so low. Our health is so low that I might use it as an opportunity. Oh my. I might use it as an opportunity to go check out what's going on with that boss trap room. Well, thank goodness we've become flush with bombs, because we are seeing just a never-ending onslaught of tinted rocks all of a sudden. Haven't been able to check in for a while because my work usually lines up with your stream, but hope you made my Blitzkrieg idea a reality. Sandy, ironic you should mention that. I'm trying. It was supposed to be done for. I say it was supposed to be, like I've got a guy on staff who got fired or something. I have my friend who works on our alerts. Tried to pull it together for me for our October subathon. Life got in the way. He had a kid. He got sick for a little bit, so it fell through. I got no ill will about that. I love this dude to death. But what we're hoping now, and I'll actually probably ping him today and just say, like, hey, just checking to see if we're on track. But the Blitzkrieg idea potentially could be pulled together. I think I'm just gonna take Guppy's head. The Blitzkrieg idea potentially could be pulled together for our 7-year partnership anniversary, which happens mid-March. Mid-March. Yeah, Lane says that's my dream, to have enough money to just take the jobs I want to take. Sideline Boyo, what's going on? Welcome back. Crazy win yesterday fueled the hell out of that fire. Yeah, the videos I saw were terrifying, honestly. Leglish, good morning. The most tinted of floors. Let's go. If there's something we want to pick up from the Deal with the Devil that costs 1 heart, that ends up being perfect. So let's be cost effective about this. We've gotten a ton of tiers upgrades, so I got no regrets about picking up technology. This should be a pretty straightforward fight. I wish I was a little faster. We are very strong for floor number 2. Thought maybe. Holy shit. This is as good a reason as any to hurt myself. At least there's a chance for return on investment. Alright. Oh, I almost walked into the red fire. Like, it wouldn't have been the end of the world, but I would have been very scared. That is a very fast Leviathan. Goodness gracious. Sideline Boyo, I'm sorry, says, Happy New Year's Eve, Taffy. How are you today? It's Friday. Like, you know what I mean? It's my second to last day of the work week. I hope my kids are excited that it's New Year's Eve. I couldn't give 2 shits. I'm not trying to be a downer about it. It's just like the last 2 years have all been, like, the last 2 years have been exactly the same. The last 2 years for me have been identical. So it's hard for me to get up for what feels like it's going to be kind of more the same. I'm more excited. I'm more excited about getting Sunday off than I am excited about the potentiality of, like, singing, what was it, Auld Lang Syne and drinking at midnight when I gotta work in the morning. What are you wearing to the living room to rock in this New Year's Eve? I mean, you're looking at it. I'm wearing this t-shirt and blue jeans. I was supposed to draw up a family meal plan last night, and instead what I did was I sat down in this chair, dialed up a food blog with recipe ideas, brought up a couple of streams. I was in Smashly stream for a bit. I was in Queeb stream for a little bit. I was in Angry Pug stream for a little bit. And I sat here for about 30 minutes looking at food recipes and then just went, nope, and just went to bed. And then I still overslept my alarm and woke up at 7:30 this morning with really scratchy eyes. Yeah, Sandy, that's kind of been all of our takes too, is that COVID has most assuredly made the last 2 years feel identical to one another. It all just feels like it's just been March 2020. It's been March 2020 for 2 years. It's still kind of sinking in on me. Yeah, it's great. It's still sort of sinking in on me that we just don't get this time refunded to us at the end. You know what I mean? Like, obviously there are some generations who have had it worse. You know, the folks who had the Vietnam War or World War II didn't get that time refunded to them either, but it's, you know. I keep waiting for, like, my grown-up life to start, the one that I kind of just assumed I'd have based on, you know, 20 years growing up with my parents and having them explain what to expect. And I'm like, damn, I'm gonna be in my mid-40s before I can kind of wander back out into the world again. Before my sister, brother-in-law, and 2 nephews moved at the beginning of November, they lived in that area. That's terrifying. Well, I'm glad they're okay now. So much spirit heart health just laying on the floor. Couldn't give a shit about New Year's either. It's just a good weekend break for me before I have to get back to a job I don't particularly like. Yeah, that's, you know, when I was... Oh, I'm glad I did Sword of Damocles. When I was a kid, I used to think to myself, like, oh man, how could anybody ever pass up an opportunity to celebrate such a festive occasion? And now, like, I genuinely didn't realize it was New Year's Eve until I turned on the CBS News this morning, and all the commentators were in tuxedos. And I was like, why are they all dressed up? It's like the only thing I can think of they would dress up for would be New Year's Eve, but that can't possibly be, because that doesn't happen until, ah shit, it's today. What do you know? I guess that's today. My New Year's Eve celebration was drinking a homemade Appletini and watching half of the Sydney fireworks, then hanging out here, which is honestly something I've missed doing. Well, we've missed having you. I don't know that, like, I'm gonna finish some Spanish red wine, some Tempranillo red wine, and then I'm probably gonna be in bed by 11. I just, every time I stay up until midnight, sure. Every time I stay up until midnight,
story of the newest denizen of the cave.
I actually end up staying up until 1 or 2 because it just takes me a while to fall asleep. And I inevitably wake up feeling like absolute trash for stream. And like, I'm a procrastinator by nature, and that includes going to bed and getting rest. But I'm a person who really learns things through negative reinforcement more often than positive reinforcement. And so it's not that I feel good about feeling rested. It's that genuinely I dislike being tired and lackadaisical on stream like so badly. I think I've done this before, and I think it doesn't work the way I want it to work. I want my shot to become homing as it passes through, but I don't think it works that way with technology. I feel like I've tried this before. I dislike being lackadaisical and punchy and tired on stream so bad that I'll force myself to do the thing I don't like, which is like crawl into bed and go to sleep, rather than, did I get any item room item? Oh, I did. I got the fly. Okay. I will force myself to go to sleep and confront my insomnia and my restless brain rather than show up here and feel tired and out of sorts. It's gonna be a second. I gotta do the pew 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 pews. There we go. New Year's Eve is the only holiday I celebrate. I hold out the hope, naive hope that each year will be less shitty. It's getting more difficult, though. I feel a little ground down, Rapid, if I'm being honest. Pyrexus, good morning to you as well. Gizmo, thank you. Hope you have a safe New Year. New Year's Eve at the Booze Library today. Our shelves are mostly empty. It's going to be a weird day. Yeah, I'm glad I don't need, like, champagne. I heard champagne's balls hard to find right now. Devins, 3 months of Tier 1 sub to Red Vlerpy. Devins, thank you so much. You're incredibly generous. I appreciate that. El Pablo, happy taffy New Year. I had no idea today was New Year's Eve. In my mind, I was so excited. It's Friday. I like the first Isaac run of the day. I like the Eden runs. We've reached the point where I don't really enjoy anything that's left on file 2. We've reached the point where I don't really enjoy what's left on file 2, but I'm really looking forward to going back to Demon Souls today. Goodness gracious, Demon Souls got time flying in the afternoons. Goodness. I'm enjoying Demon Souls so much. Can't wait to get back there. Yeah, this run on floor 2 was out of control. I gotta figure out what my second run. We may even get a third in today because, like, if I can get a couple of speed upgrades, if I can get a couple of speed upgrades, we're gonna cruise. Demon Souls is my favorite game that I've never played. Stupid exclusives. It's taking me a minute. It takes me a couple days to acclimate whenever I change a Souls game. So, like, for example, ooh. You almost got me there, big boy. Yeah, for example, going from Dark Souls 2 to Sekiro took a while because I had to figure out the parry system. Because the parry system in Sekiro is integral. And, like, as far as, I don't even know if you can parry in Dark Souls 2. I know I never did it. And then, nice.
Speed up.
And then I went from Sekiro to Bloodborne. And in Bloodborne, there's no parry system. Well, there is. There kind of is. It's not the same as Sekiro. And I got back into, like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to use my items effectively for Bloodborne to really work. And I got to get back into the idea of dodge rolling. You know, and occasionally trying to get in there and parry. For me, Bloodborne, in my mind, was more about smart item use. I'd say this time and time again, but if you... Oh, I was going to try to use that bomb. I say this time and time again, but if you watch me play Bloodborne, the way you knew I was getting serious... the way you knew I was getting serious about a run was if I stopped just chit-chatting with you. If I stopped just chit-chatting with you, and you saw me start to apply shit to my blade, you're like, oh, Taffy's dialing in to win this one. And now we're on Demon Souls, and the thing that I'm having to, like, teach myself to do... Sure. The thing that I'm having to teach myself to do on Demon Souls is use my shield. I've never used a shield in any of these games before, and it seems super overpowered in Demon Souls. But, like, no character that I've ever used, because in Dark Souls 2, I used a spear. And I just dodge rolled a bunch. So I've never used a shield before, but man, oh man, in Demon Souls, it seems overpowered as shit to use the shield. And I gotta make myself be okay with that, you know? Yeah, I mean, I can parry in Demon Souls 2, it's just I never needed to. It doesn't seem to be as rewarding as Sekiro is. The next soul is Dark Souls 3. It's already funded. So Dark Souls 1, ironically... Well, yeah, Dark Souls 1 will be the last one I play after Elden Ring. Wyatt, Happy New Year. Fascinating fact, what most people think is negative reinforcement is actually positive punishment. Negative reinforcement is the removal of a positive stimulus. Positive punishment. Does that just mean that you've been punished, but you've taken away how your situation can be improved if you do things differently? God, I'm fucking hungry this morning. Yo, you guys have been proud of me. I threw together an all-timer. When I lived with a whole bunch of roommates in college, we used to do what we called the Iron Chef Bachelor Pad. And it meant that somebody had to go cook dinner just with shit that they found in the kitchen.
Forever.
And so we like genuinely, the challenge became using only what we have in the kitchen, make something that's not only edible, but looks like you did it on purpose. So last night I had to Iron Chef Bachelor Pad my kitchen. Amber took a quick cursory glance and said, here's a starting point. I found a recipe, and almost everything in the recipe exists in our kitchen right now from other old recipes that we tried to use. And it was like a pesto spaghetti. It's like a shrimp and pesto spaghetti. But I'm gonna end up having what was left over for lunch. I had oh, I thought he'd be dead by the time I got there, if I'm being honest. It ended up being spaghetti, shrimp, butter, olive oil, pesto, sun-dried tomatoes. My mom bought me like 4 of those like charcuterie sausages, and one of them was like a three spice, like a 3 chili, spicier sausage, snacking sausage. But I cut it into little tiny cubes, like I cubed it down to almost like a garnish, and I put about 2 ounces of that in there with the shrimp. I had leftover leeks that I threw in there, so it was leeks, spinach, artichoke hearts, shrimp, spicy sausage, pesto, white wine cream, fresh lemon, salt, pepper. I think that's it. Parmesan. I had a little wedge of Parmesan left over from a brick that I've been grating off of for like a half a year. So I ground that down and then threw the rind in, and then pulled the rind out at the last minute. I was actually genuinely pretty proud of it. It was not a particularly pretty dish, but damned if it wasn't good. Your kitchen has way more left over than mine. So what we have to, so the thing that I'm trying to do right now, Wednesday, is I've got chipotle peppers that are stored in adobo in a can. The whole thing cost me like $1.30, but I hate the idea of throwing any of it away. So I gotta find stuff like that. Positive punishment's like a dom-sub relationship. Sadomasochism's never been on my bingo card. I'd probably get into it. If Amber showed up dressed like Catwoman and hit me with something, I'd probably get a boner. But I've just never found my way down that road. Much like anime, I'm probably into it, but I've never dawdled down that particular yellow brick road. COVID update, it sucks. I'm sorry, Into the Rope. Yeah, I've got more of a Domino's Subway relationship than a Dom-sub relationship. Everything minus the shrimp I'm so down for. That was kind of Rory's take too. Even the boys who just heard Daddy took everything that was in the kitchen and threw it into a pot and looked horrified, ended up actually working it over pretty good, with the exception of they just didn't eat the parts they didn't like. Like, Rory's not a big shrimp guy. And I think Grayson kind of dodged a couple of the vegetables, but for the most part, they cleaned their bowls. My aunt texted me like, oh my god, you tested positive, need to come over. No, I don't need to come over, dum-dum. People mean well, man. It's just so much of the human race is like, what's the word? Not smart. Painfully, aggressively working against themselves. Do we need to test? I don't know if you think you're invited to come watch Jay the 111, but that's not normally how nuptials at this house work. If I was gonna invite somebody from chat, I'd invite somebody with a much larger bit badge. You know, you feel me? I'm not even sure you make the top dozen. We keep at least 2 cans of Chipotle and adobo at all times. It's rough because I have to neat. God, I could have 3 health upgrades. I don't know that I want 3 health upgrades though. I'm gonna hold off because there's a speed upgrade floating around out there, and I'd like to get a hold of that. Yeah, I was gonna say in a world where El Pablo Glitch and the Rapid are all chilling here, the metal stand gets awfully crowded. Yeah, into the rope. Listen. I know I've crawled up your case a couple of times about trauma dumping, but you got fucking COVID. You know, this is definitely one of those instances where it's like, show up here, tell us it sucks. We'll happily commiserate. That blows, and I'm sorry for you. That's you know, that is not a situation where I'm gonna be like, oh, don't bring your sorrows and woes in here. You're absolutely free to come in here and be like, hey, COVID sucks, by the way. I imagine it does. Why is 6 afraid of 7? This punchline is actually different. I'm trying to see if the joke's in there or if there's another part coming. Why is 6 afraid of 7? This punchline is actually different. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Cam Cool, welcome back. I should probably tag you, Taffy. Positive punishment is the addition of punishment to make sure you reach a goal, like pinching yourself to deviate from a task. It's like, positive punishment was like when I, you know, would drink and smoke even when I said I was trying to clean up my life, and so the next day I'd wake up and go jogging. I would wake up and go on like a full 4-mile jog. I've been talking about Halle Berry quite a bit. I didn't realize until this week that she was Cleo, like Cleopatra, in those Caesars Sportsbook apps commercials with JB Smoove. That 55-year-old woman looks better than almost any human being I've ever seen. 55-year-old woman is jaw-droppingly beautiful. Good God. Alright, let's see. Let's get out of here. God, I am so hungry today. Casey Kitco, morning nerds. What's going on, dude? I'm, like, genuinely, I have stomach pains. Sure. See? Come out of that with a profit. The Halle, the berry, the sweeter the juice. Ugh. I was saying that I saw her on the news the other day. And she was, I think, engaged in her directorial debut, where in her 50s, much like Keanu, in her 50s, she's directing herself as an MMA fighter, and she looks the part. And I'm like, dude, I have a hard time getting out of bed without my knees and lower back hurting me. When I say I want to get back into acting, I don't mean, like, nobody's coming to me and being like, hey, Taffy, you want to play a young MMA star? And I'm like, well, yeah. What do you plan on doing about the whole I have this body problem? I'm gonna do that just because we just picked up the stupid crown. I don't like that crown. Having one heart is such a shitty, weird limbo place to be with your health. Same as always, barely awake and should probably be writing for my D&D session tomorrow. Ugh. What floor am I on? Depths 2. Do I want to do boss rush? Maybe I'll do boss rush. I'll do boss rush. Why not? Two hearts. Judgment. Well, here we are. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Halle Berry's Hot Ones was pretty good. I like Charlize Theron's as well, and obviously I like Paul Rudd. Fucking John Bernthal's was really good too. Michelle Pfeiffer, Ree the Bear. Michelle Pfeiffer played Catwoman in Batman Returns. Equally timeless Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm glad I was lucky with these items because I was not paying attention. Anytime, really. There we go. Range down. I got 3 of those. Well, I feel bad about the dono machine, but there was just nothing to be done. Nothing to help it. Straight. I've got so many Verp pills. What's going on over here? Yo, Dry Baby! Salutations, friendo.
The Hierophant.
And Taffy, do you think you could handle an acting commitment without breaking in half? God. Maybe. I think the only way I would I think the only way I would ever get nervous about acting, if I were to be offered a role, would be if the guy that I refer to as my theater dad, if he were to cast me in something, I think I'd be pretty petrified. What do we got? Luck up. Honestly, I might. Oh no, there we go. I was hoping for speed. Speed.
Full health.
Tears down. Range down. So we go speed upgrade.
Speed.
We grab the Fool card. We go back. Taffy had been replaying Persona again. Let's discuss why Dr. Dum Dum is the best doctor ever. Ugh. I hated him before it was revealed that he had more nefarious plans. I hated him back when I just thought he was a bad doctor. Yeah, speed up again.
Speed up.
Wish I'd had that speed up pill on the last floor. I left a whole bunch of vert pills behind. I think, if that's this floor. I don't think I'm gonna end up playing out that demon beggar. Like, I just can't be bothered. Can't be bothered, I don't think. Been so long since I've seen my theater daddy quit directing to become a police officer last year. I don't know if my theater dad does any directing anymore because he is a department head, a theater department head for lack of a better term, for a school that basically churns out young Republicans. A very wealthy private school. He works at a very wealthy private school that basically cranks out kids who are destined to become C-suite executives for Fortune 500 companies. So I don't know if he directs anymore. You know what? Ah, God, it's such a long walk. You know, yeah, let's just do it. We got 2 speed upgrade pills. All right, Leglish, I hope you have a tremendous afternoon, evening. I hope you have a good New Year's Eve. Yeah, I gotta, like, here's what I'm gonna do. Ooh. I'm gonna stop short of going into the boss fight. I'll get us back to the Demon Beggar, and then I'll just stop there and take my little walkabout. My mom got me a shelf-stable retort pouch smoked salmon. That's usually very, very tasty. There we go. That's a speed upgrade as well. And I keep trying to talk myself into opening it, but I also keep talking myself out of opening it. Because I know that if I open it, I'm going to eat it all in a single sitting. And while it's not the most unhealthy snack in the world, it is a brick of smoked salmon. And I usually end up having it with Ritz crackers, which...
Isaac.
You're doing great, Mom. Alright, let's take a little look-see. Show us what they're playing for. I don't know, man. I thought we were doing more damage than this. Maybe just Husk is that badass. Oh, shit. It's gonna be very loud for a while. Ow, dick. It is nice having unlimited piercing range. Spoonbender would be nice. Poison damage would be nice. Just straight up damage would be nice. Don't run! Alright, Chelsea, thank you for coming out. Happy New Year. That'll get rid of the spiders that I'm trying to dodge. Lump of coal would be good. Monstro, you dick.
This is the story of the newest denizen.
Mr. Slug! Tier 1, 3 months. Hope you're doing well today, Taffy. I'm sure, yeah, I suppose so. In the grand terms of, like, holiday celebrations, I had no idea it was New Year's Eve when I woke up this morning. I've got no plans. I'm gonna watch my kids be happy about staying up till midnight. I'm sure they'll have snacks. I'm sure they'll have, like, fizzy apple cider or whatever. I'm gonna have a half a bottle of wine, I'm sure, with dinner tonight, but I'll be in bed before the ball drops. Likewise to you. I hope you're doing great. I'm just, it's more Friday to me than it is like a holiday. I stupidly said I'd stream to midnight. Guess who? The guy who goes to bed at 8 p.m. now. Yeah, good for you. I was literally, dude, I was saying earlier how grateful I was. Like, not to rub it in, but like, within the context of my life, I thought about that for a split second when I realized it was New Year's Eve. And I was just like, would I ever do, like I streamed on Christmas, would I ever do a midnight ball drop stream? And just like, theorizing about it, like thinking about it, putting the words in my head, I instantly like cringed and shuddered and was like, oh no, 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 sir. I think rather not. I'm doing 2 days. I decided I wasn't tired enough. I'm genuinely not gonna make it to the ball drop. I know I'm not. I'm gonna hit 11. And the trap door is gonna fall out from underneath me, and I'm gonna go to bed. And I'm gonna leave my sons downstairs to ring in the new year for me. Oh, yeah, that's great. Oh, that's so much better. I'm glad I bumped into that red heart. Oh my god, you asshole. Yeah, that's gonna speed this up significantly. Monstro, you dick. Very loud. I didn't see it. It's very loud, this build we have. The last time balls dropped in my life, things didn't go so well, so why should I care about this one? Yeah, I got no... People ask me, they're like, what are your plans? What are your plans for New Year's? I was like, plans? What are you talking about? I haven't had plans in 2.5 years. What do you mean, plans? It just struck me as like being like... borderline, borderline nonsensical. Love living on the West Coast, watching East Coast New Year's Eve stream, and everyone goes to bed at 9 p.m. Yeah, honestly, Matisse, when the boys were a little bit younger and had less of a concept of time, we used to find ball drop videos on YouTube. When the boys were younger, we used to find ball drop videos on YouTube and show them to them at 9 or 10 o'clock and then go to bed. And tell them that they'd made it. And they'd be so pleased with themselves. I can't believe I stayed up till midnight. I can't either, son. I can't either. It is borderline unbelievable that you made it up till midnight, considering mom puts you to bed at 6:30 every night. You sure did, kiddo. You sure did. I've decided I want Guppy. By God, this game will give it to me. Tears down. Probably not. Fear Effect's been really, really useful in this run to keep enemies that I can't quite burn down just kind of off my dick for a little bit. Taffy, are you not having Chinese food tonight or something? Nah, I don't know. I don't know what we're making tonight. I was supposed to make a meal plan for the week. And instead last night I fell asleep by about 11. I sat down at like 10:30 in here and was convinced that I was gonna pull together a meal plan for us. I got situated, I got some Twitch up on screen that I wanted to watch, my background noise, and instead of drawing up a meal plan, I promptly went, I am way too tired, and went to bed. So I don't even know what we're doing for dinner tonight. Honestly, I like I Can See Forever. It cuts out a lot of the middleman. I think Amber's gonna make calico beans. Otherwise, yeah, I've got no plans. I don't even have food plans for tonight. Honestly, Red Flurpy, I think about that from time to time because at some point we're gonna have the conversation soon. About Santa, right? Because Rory's already breached it, saying that one of his classmates mentioned it to him, and truth bombed him. And at some point, when we let that shoe drop, at some point when we let that shoe drop, we're gonna have to take inventory, right? And it's gonna go, so, Santa? Tooth Fairy? Easter Bunny? God? Your mom and I are a house divided on that one, son. We're a real hung jury on that one. That's we're a real 50-50 on that one, kid. The jury's out. we can't come to a consensus. Even the adults can't come to a consensus in this house on that one. It depends on which of us you ask. I don't know. I think I'd rather run the risk of burning some credibility and let them have several years of like magic. Cause God, once magic is gone from adulthood, meaning like young adult.
The newest denizen of the cave.
Once the magic's gone, man, is it ever gone? Armor Lord, tier 1, 32 months, jolly celebratory eve of the anniversary of the continued march of time. To you as well. Armor Lord, thank you for the almost 3 years. Just turned to witchcraft, boom, magic back. I wish. I wish. It's funny to me, because when I was a kid, I used to believe in ghosts. You know, I used to believe in, like, hauntings. I used to believe in, like, haunted houses and malevolent spirits and stuff like that. And now that I'm old and Amber and I have had to battle, like, cancer and COVID and economic collapse and global warming and stuff like that, I'm like, I ain't got time for no mumbo-jumbo voodoo hoodoo about dead people not being dead. They're the lucky ones. Like, I'm gonna sit here and give it, yeah, like they want to come back here, you know? Nah, screw all that. I'll be the first person who's like, oh, that room's real dark, Ryan. I don't know that I want to wander in there, and I'm like, that's your reptile brain saying don't get eaten by predators. It's just an empty room, and I'll be the first one to walk in there to turn on the light. I used to love ghost stories. I used to absolutely be desperate to believe that ghosts were real. And now I'm just like, man, verifiable real life is way more scary than ghosts. Phasmo's fun. Phasmo's fun as shit. I love that. I love that game just for that reason. It scratches that itch for me. But like, you know, we played Demon's Souls yesterday. I didn't go to bed genuinely concerned that a 15-foot tall spider was gonna come out of the ceiling and shoot fire out of its abdomen at me. When I can't find my kids, I'm more worried that some guy in a van snatched them than I am that they disappeared in the floorboards under the house and are currently somehow climbing deeper and deeper into the crust of the earth and getting closer and closer to heavens and combating the sort of like Nega Scott, Nega Rory versions of themselves. Hey, we called for Lump of Coal. That's pretty great. Once the magic is gone, it's time for drugs. God, it is hard not to... It is hard not to enthusiastically agree with you on that. Because I haven't really engaged in recreational drug use a lot in my life. Like, obviously, I smoked cigarettes, which was more harmful than it felt. It was more for image and addiction than about feeling good, because when you smoke a cigarette, you really only feel good. You really only feel good for about that long, you know? But I'll tell you what, man, some of the legal drugs I've been on, like Ambien, if you leg out Ambien or mix it with red wine, if I could feel like that all the time, that did feel like magic. Whatever that anesthesiologist put in my veins, that was magic. That's the best I've felt in several years. But before somebody loses their mind and yells at me to drop the left hand, I'm taking it with me. I need you to be aware I'm taking the left hand with me. Give me Guppy or give me death. I want to read chat, but I'm like kind of cruising right now. Let me get to the next floor. My mom believes my dad doesn't, so I always say I'm half Catholic. Yeah, I guess the kids could say they're half Catholic then. Unless it's Tuesday, because that is the scheduled play date tunneling to the center of the earth. Took me into my early 30s to realize that drugs are pretty cool when used responsibly. I still feel kind of... I still have to shake the Nancy Reagan off of me. I can see forever. And you know what? Ultimately, I think it was worth it to come back in here and get this this like last piece of health and the I can see forever pill. Oh, no thank you. I'd most likely be dead without one of mine, so legal drugs are good. Yeah, whatever the fuck was in that anesthesia before they put me under for my vasectomy was dynamite. It was so good. Not really. He did not fire shots the way I thought he would. Well, double adversary is always a pretty good gauge of how you're doing. There's a whole bunch of not Guppy on that floor, isn't it? Oh, well, shit, maybe. Damn, dude, I want to be excited about going to MagFest, but well, shit. Negative.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
Actually, you know what? That does mean that we can go pick up one of those deals. Like, I wasn't willing to get rid of stupid, broken Dark Prince's crown. But we absolutely can do that now. So let's go back and grab whichever one tickles our fancy. I guess it's Satanic Bible. We'll grab Ceremonial Rose for the damage upgrade. Spitfire 703, Tier 1, 10 months. Spitfire, thank you so much for your continued support. You got anesthesia. The doctor gave me a chill pill anti-anxiety med and left me awake from mine. I've been bamboozled. So Matisse, the first time I went there for the consult, same place, by the way. The first time I went there for a consult, they said that they usually did local anesthesia. So they hit you up with the needles. They hit you up with the needles around the nuts. And then they just sat there and talked to you about college football while they did the procedure.
Yeah.
And I said, well, is there an option where I could go completely under? And they're like, yeah, but it's like an extra $1,000. And that was at a point in time where I didn't really have the money to be doing the initial procedure, let alone the extra grand to go under just because I didn't want to have to worry about it, right? Well, shit. This time around...
Health.
Oh, I need a red heart now. This time around, I went to that exact same place several years later with a couple of ducats in my pocket. This, you know, with a little bit of money to speak of. And that exact same place a couple of years later didn't offer any other option than going completely under. I was like, didn't you guys just used to do local anesthesia? And they're like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. Now you gotta go all the way under, no matter what. Like, you instead now you have to ask if you want to stay up for some reason. Like, you just don't like anesthesia, or you're terrified of going under and not coming back. Yeah, I have no idea. It's like a 4 or 5 year gap between asking. We've known we've been done with kids basically ever since Rory was born. Amber and I talked about this a little bit recently. We said, if it hadn't been for her cancer, we might have entertained a third. And then that way, if we had gotten a third little boy, we would have been fine. But if we'd gotten a little girl, we would have really felt like we completed the set, you know? But with her cancer, it was kind of, you know, she couldn't breastfeed. We were told chemo was going to wreck her reproductive system. It most certainly did not. The reason we need the vasectomy is because chemotherapy did not wreck her reproductive system the way we were promised. Fucking bullshitting ass, lying ass chemotherapy doctors. This is probably gonna wreck your reproductive system, so, you know, you have your boys, so you should be very happy about that. Amber was thrilled at the idea that if she was gonna be fighting, you know, this disease by putting poison into her body, at the very least she was gonna get out of periods decades earlier than she should have. Nope. She is still fertile as the untouched plains of Kansas before white men hit North America. We're still very much in a place where if I throw my coat over the back of a chair and shoot her a smile and a wink, we have to pee on a stick later. What is this? Can one of these please be a full health pill so I can... So yeah, we've known we've been done for a while. We've known we've been done for a while. It's not gonna give me another... It's not gonna give me another guppy item. There we go. But I couldn't afford it the first time I went around, and then I just kind of dragged feet a little bit about it, because the first guy, he didn't make it sound gruesome, but he was the doctor who, like, he sold me on it, but then he kept describing it, and I was like, bro, you're talking me out of a sale. What a beautiful euphemism for intimacy. It's ridiculous how stupidly fertile the two of us are. I genuinely, this is not me making light of anyone else's, like, suffering, but, like, we genuinely feel guilty when we hear friends of ours say, like, oh, we've been trying for a year. And Amber and I were like, we have to actively do everything in our power to make sure it doesn't happen. If we slip even a little bit, there is another Caps child on the way. That's what we know. Yeah, I was gonna say, I've told the story of how Rory happened, and it too is not romantic. Wouldn't trade him for the world, though. Hello? It's the same kid that begged me to help him order his mom a garnet necklace for Christmas because he knew that she would love anything that he got her, and he wanted her to know that Amber is, in his mind, appropriately named because she is Rory's precious gem. That's verbatim. That's verbatim what he said. Told Amber her name was appropriate because she was his precious gem.
Someday, Bumbo, lucky Bumbo, someday the Bumbo is a bad Bumbo. He got corn.